We're 2 months away from your title fight with Anderson Silva, yet there is still super fight talk between the Spider and John Jones or George St. Pierre. Does that bother you at all?
Doesn't really bother me. I'm excited for this fight with Anderson Silva. It's happening regardless of the talk. And afterwards, I think there'll be some other super fight talks going on, and I think my name will be involved. So, it doesn't bother me at all.
You're generally a calm and reserved guy, but when you start continuing to hear that stuff in the media, does it give you extra motivation to prove these guys wrong and say, look, you guys keep sleeping on me?
Not really any extra motivation, because I don't really need any. I have as much motivation as you could possibly need to get into a cage with somebody. This is a dream fight for me. I'm fighting the greatest of all time. It's for the championship belt. It's my dream, and there's no more motivation needed. You know, I'm 100% focused.
The vast majority of people believe you've earned this title shot. You deserve it. You're the #1 contender. But there's still a small segment that says, no, Weidman hasn't deserved anything. He doesn't deserve this title shot. What do you say to them?
It doesn't really matter what they think. I got the title fight. I think I deserve it. The UFC thinks I deserve it, and that's who really matter. And I'm going to prove to them that when I get in that cage with them, with Anderson Silva, that not only do I belong to be there, but it's going to be an exciting fight, and I think I'm going to be winning. So,
he's widely considered the GOAT, greatest of all time. So how does Chris Weidman prepare for the best pound-for-pound fighter in the sport?
I'm going to bring in all different types of guys that kind of emulate maybe some of his game. You know, you're not going to be able to bring in Anderson Silva, exactly, because there's no one like him. You know, he's unbelievable in all aspects of the MMA. So I'm going to bring in guys who might have similar stand-up as him, may have similar jiu-jitsu, and kind of put it all together and, just try to make myself a little bit familiar with him. But it ultimately comes down to what I'm going to do in that cage and what I want to do, and kind of enforcing my will on him.
So I talked to George St. Pierre before this fight, and I asked him his thoughts. What do you think about Chris Weidman taking on Anderson Silva? I'm not sure if you've seen the video, but it was pretty impressive coming from GSP. I've got it here. Hit play, let me know what you think.
He's my friend, Chris Weidman, and I see him in training. I believe he's going to beat Anderson Silva. I believe it's a bad matchup for Anderson Silva. It's very bad. Not only he's going to beat, I believe he's going to finish Anderson Silva. I believe it's not going to be too long, that fight. This will be, people will be shocked. But depend. Anderson Silva is smart because Chris Weidman, he come back from an injury, a long layoff. So is that time to fight him right now is good. He's going to be the best time to fight Chris Weidman right now. So Chris needs to be sure he get very well prepared for this fight.
What are your thoughts?
Definitely, it's definitely cool to have GSP, one of the greatest of all time, to have confidence in me fighting Anderson Silva, another greatest of all time guy. So it's definitely huge for my confidence.
And the one thing George and I talked about also was the layoff that you're on after the shoulder surgery, I believe?
Yes.
So you've been off for a while.
I actually had bone chips cleared out of my elbow, and then 2 months later, then I had the shoulder surgery. So two surgeries in a row, yeah.
And now you're coming back to face Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
That's bad news, isn't it?
No, I think it's going to be even more exciting. I mean, the only thing, because now I beat him, there can't be any excuses. It'll make it look that much better. The only other thing I would have rather have done is beat him in Brazil, but the UFC, I guess, didn't want to do that. They wanted it in Vegas. But I'll take it either way. But I think it would have been definitely cool for me to go over to Brazil and beat him in front of his home crowd.
That's confidence personified, because that's hostile territory. But you firmly believe you're the best fighter he's ever faced. Why?
I just think I definitely think I'm a nightmare matchup for him. I'm hungry. He's not going to beat me mentally outside the cage before we get in the cage, and definitely not when we get in there. I'm very strong-minded. I'm going to be walking forward, looking to punch him in the face, regardless who it is, and we're looking for those takedowns. And I think once my hands get on him, he's in my world.
And that's the thing. So people, all of his opponents beforehand, have all said, "I'm not afraid of him." But then you hear afterwards that they were already psychologically done when they got in the cage with him. How do you prevent that from happening to you?
Well, I think I have my psychology major, so I think that helps. But I think Anderson Silva, if I could give him a psychology major or a diploma or whatever, he definitely deserves it, because he does a great job of doing that. He gets inside everybody's head, and he's earned a certain mystique about him. That wasn't just given to him. He earned that by beating people decisively over the years and coming out with a certain mystique. But I'm not fighting that myth. I'm not fighting that mystique. I'm fighting that man, and I'm 100% prepared. And I understand, doubts are going to come into your mind, but I'm very focused on going there, walking across the cage, and doing what I do. Chael Sonnen was one guy who didn't let it get to him. He didn't let the mystique get to him. He beat himself, but he's done that a lot of times in the cage. I don't think it was because he was Anderson Silva, but he did beat him 6 out of 7 rounds of fighting, I think, in their total, battles. And so he's one guy who did it, and I figured I could go in there, and I think my skill set's a little bit better to beat Anderson Silva.
As your game continues to evolve, your striking is coming a long way. It's actually really good. The Muay Thai looks great, but you're known for your wrestling. So Anderson's going to try and train his wrestling, his takedown defense, and how to get right back up. So the question to you is, what if you can't take him down? Or what if you do take him down and he gets right back up and you're stuck in his world, the stand-up realm? You going to stand and bang with this guy?
Yeah, I'm prepared for anything. Worst case scenarios, I'm prepared for him to take me down. You have to kind of put yourself in every single position in this fight that could possibly happen before you even get in that cage. So when it does happen in the cage, or if it does, you're prepared for it. It doesn't shock you, and then when something shocks you inside the cage or in any event, you're going to get a little bit more tired. You're going to get confused. So I'm prepared for anything, but I am confident that I get on his legs or I get my hands on him, and I'm in a good way, just based off his other fights and seeing what he's done against other guys.
Does this fight go the distance?
I see myself finishing, to be honest, but I'm preparing myself for a 5-round war.
What's the perfect Hollywood script, though? Knockout of Anderson Silva, a submission of Anderson Silva?
I'd say probably take down, submit him. Would probably, because if I knock him out, people are like, I got lucky. He was just worried about the takedown. Next time it'll be different. But if he's expecting the takedown, he's expecting the submission, and still can't stop it, I think that's probably the way to go.
I don't want to jump too far ahead, but I have to ask you this question because I ask everyone the same time when they get a chance for a title. Bruce Buffer, after the fight, comes out and says, and new UFC middleweight champion, Chris Weidman. What do you think will be going through your head at that time?
Oh, just mixed emotions, unbelievable feelings, and I just wanted to share with my family, like my parents who've been there since 2nd grade sitting in those stands, and I kind of want them to enjoy the moment with me, get them inside the cage, my family, and just share with the people who've been with me, through, from the beginning to the end.
Are you ready to be the champion of the world? Do you know what it takes to be the champion of the world?
Right now it takes beating Anderson Silva, and then I definitely feel like I'm ready to be the champion of the world. I think to become a champion, you definitely have to be prepared to be a good role model. I think that's probably one of the biggest things, and one of the reasons why I want to become champion, to start, having kids look up to me and being able to give back to the people that, got me to where I'm at, and so definitely ready.
You think you have time now? You won't have time when you're the champ. You know that, right?
Yeah, I'm telling my wife, after this fight, we'll have some time. Right now I'm doing a lot of traveling. It's getting hectic. I'm like, oh my God, this is a lot. Yeah, you're probably right, unfortunately. And then, but I guess that's what comes with the rewards, and I'll be prepared for that.
Thank you for your time.
No problem.